Hey guys, welcome to First Reaction. My name is Eve, and today I'm going to be talking about The Flash, Season 3, Episode 5, called Monster. Sorry about yesterday. I wanted to upload a review for Westworld, but the camera died right when I was starting my review, and I didn't have an extra, so it's okay. I'll do one next week. Anyways, today on The Flash, I want to talk about the top 3 things. Number 1, Barry and Julian. So first things first, Barry moves out. Anyways, when they get back to, when he gets to the lab, him and Julian, of course, they were having some bad blood, and Julian talks about how he hates metahumans, right? And we find out at the end that he wants to feel special. He's always wanted to be the best. And it's not the way you think, oh, I don't have powers and other people do. It's not because of that. It's actually because he was on track to becoming a great scientist, but then the world changed. And it undermined what he knew about, science, basically. Because there's this whole field of metahumans which he isn't great at. And I'm not sure how the whole thing about him inheriting money goes into it. I don't know, maybe he lost his inheritance or something, but now that his whole world of science changed, that's why he holds this grudge against metahumans. And even though these metahumans have powers, most of them use it for bad, and he explains how, well, why doesn't anybody use it for good? And then, of course, the Flash saves him from killing a kid, and he actually changes by the end, and we see a whole progression in his character. Then he actually surrenders to Barry, saying, look, you might be right about this, and you might be a good thing, because I was wrong about the Flash. So I'm interested to see where their friendship goes from here. I hope they're not just building their relationship up just to kill him by the end or something, or another twist where he's alchemy. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm actually liking the storyline. So we'll see where it goes from here. So what do you think about Julian? Is he going to keep this on, or is he going to eventually get mad at metahumans again, and try to get back and be detrimental to what the Flash is trying to do and save the city? Next, I want to talk about HR. Now, the new Harrison Wells, we all knew that there's something off about him, and then I thought, there must be another reason why he's here, because he just seems too nice and a bit overcompensating. Like, he's trying to be too nice and trying to, just be goody-goody with everybody. And I kind of thought he might be a bad guy, but it turns out it's not. It's not that he's bad or keeping secrets. I mean, he is keeping a secret, but he's not a scientist. So I don't really see how he's going to stay on for too long, even though they said they're going to give him a chance. And he'll get that chance. He'll be here for a few more episodes, I think, but I don't think that he's going to be there for too long, because eventually they're going to want a Harrison Wells that can contribute scientifically and not just be dead weight, and he's going to be dead weight at some point. So what do you think about him trying to become a novelist? When he said scientist novelist, in my mind I was like, I don't know, you might still be lying. And then he explains that he is actually just a nobody and just a mascot in his world for Star Labs. And I kind of felt bad for him at that point, and I thought, what, I want to give you a chance, but, what are you really going to do at the end of the day for this team? You just come up with ideas and sit back? If he's going to take a leadership role like that, he better have some damn good ideas, or he better be a quick learner. But, so we'll see. What do you think about the new Harrison Wells? I like him, he's funny, so I think they'll keep him on for a while, but I don't think he's going to last. Eventually, they're going to want the real Harrison Wells back, and Jesse Quick's not going anywhere. She'll be back too. And the third biggest thing in this episode for me is, of course, about Caitlin and her struggling with her powers. Finally meet Caitlin's mom. She's also a scientist, of course, and she's a bitch, basically. Sorry. But, they run those tests on Caitlin, and of course she's run those tests on herself before, and she figures out that, look, her powers actually has a lot to do with their research. She's like a cryogenics expert or something like that. And, so what's the guy? Nigel, Caitlin's mom's assistant, actually doesn't want her to leave because he all wants to advance in his field, and he wants to leave this place and not just be Caitlyn's mom's, assistant. And she threatens Caitlyn, and we see Caitlyn go berserk. And actually, I called it out even when she slammed the desk in the beginning and freezes it, that her powers are changing her. Like, her powers are changing her personality, and she's becoming more aggressive, and which makes sense with last couple seasons. Killer Frost, like, she's a villain, right? And we can see how good Caitlyn can turn into a villain, and I think that's where her arc is going. She's going to eventually turn into Killer Frost and be a threat to the Flash, and we're going to see, is she going to remain a villain and end up being defeated by the Flash, or is she going to, be Killer Frost but not be Killer Frost? Like, she's going to have the powers, and she's going to learn how to control it. But, eventually we're going to see her lose control of her powers, and she's going to get exposed with the rest of the group, and we're going to see how she's going to handle that. I think it's interesting that when they said the more she uses it, the more she's going to change, and the more she's not going to be able to stop the changes. It's it's kind of gotten me anxious. I want to see a showdown between Caitlyn and the Flash, and I mean a real meaningful one, not just the one that finishes within one episode. Because if it's like, oh, this episode she turns bad, and by the end of the episode she turns good again, I think it's going to be a wasted plot line, especially with the amount of time that they're putting into this story for her. So, I kind of want to see her, and how is she going to, maybe she's going to team up with an Alchemist, you never know, right? And nothing about Alchemist this episode, which is expected. We can't do something about him every time, every week, or we're going to run out of story really fast, and that storyline is going to last the whole season. So, what do you guys think about this episode, and what do you think is going to happen with Caitlyn? And I'll see you again next week, or for Walking Dead, I think is the next one. Maybe I'll upload a video game video this weekend. If you made it to the end, please like and subscribe. My name is Easy Eve, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching First Reaction. Deuces.